welcome back here to the ESL Pro League finals, live from Dallas. We are not in Dallas, Snods. We are in Katowice, Poland.
Yes.
How are you feeling? We got a big best of three ahead of us.
We do indeed. Obviously, Sharks versus Cloud9 is going to be the main game we see on the secondary stream. Mainstream seeing FaZe versus Mousesports, so got to be quite envious of that sort of matchup on their stream. But then again, you know, got to work with who you've been given with.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got a good game ahead of us, right? Let's look back at kind of the history of Cloud9 recently, right? It's not been too glamorous, right? Obviously, we look at the major; they've had great performances, but they've definitely fallen off since that, making a bit of a roster change, obviously bringing FNS into the lineup and maybe restructuring a little bit, moving the IGL role around. So, yeah, you kind of got to give them time, I'd say, for this roster to be back up to the heights that we know they can be at. And then we have Sharks, you know, a bit of an unknown team coming into this event, showing a bit of life earlier up against Mousesports, but here's another opportunity for them to show what they're made of.
I mean, it's definitely true, right? Obviously, you mentioned the change between Stewie 2K and FNS, and when you look at those players on paper as well, Hugo, completely different, right? One is extremely skilled based off, you know, self-assertive, instinctive plays, you know, aggression as well, and, you know, very gifted when it comes to Counter-Strike. And then you look at FNS, a player that's more composed, you know, in terms of his cooling style. It's not going to be quite as aggressive, maybe more passive, allow for more executions, map control style of CS. And the question is, you know, what takes longer to really involve in your roster, right? The latter. FNS's style is where it can take a lot of time to really build up these strategies, build up the wide map pool as well, and try and get a plethora of executions on all these maps.
And map pool, that's a whole other conversation to be having coming into this game, right?
Course, yeah.
In terms of, you know, Cloud9 coming up against Sharks, how would you really approach this if you're Cloud9? Do you want to kind of go on Sharks map pit, or go on ones that Sharks are bad up, or what you're comfortable with?
It's going to have to come through. The question for me is Inferno. It's a big grey area in terms of will Cloud9 play it, and if they do, we know that Sharks find, you know, almost an at-home feeling on that map.
Yep.
Inferno being a map where we saw early on versus Mousesports, they had the 6-0 advantage early on. They really showed that on the T side they can be prolific. So for me, Cash or Inferno has to come through. Both maps very good for Sharks, and the question is, which one does Cloud9 want to give away?
Well, let's have a look. Let's go straight into the veto and see what maps we do have for this best of three series. Again, pretty hard series for Sharks. They've had Mousesports and Cloud9 to face today. Those aren't easy games at all.
No, obviously the overpass ban could be coming up from Sharks, Cloud9 banning out Nuke as well, so it still leaves the open playing field. Inferno's Cash, Mirage is a big one as well.
I want to see
Cloud9
Mirage.
try to see that. Yeah, I think Mirage will be a good pick here, but then again, if you're Sharks, do you want to allow that map to really come through?
I mean, what maps do you want if you're Sharks? That's the question,
Cash
right?
Inferno. Cash Inferno are your big maps here, but they can try and pull a Dust 2, could be a very good upset map potentially as well. Who knows? This is the thing for Cloud9, right? If they allow either Cash or Inferno to come through, say they get a home map for themselves, Mirage, for example, and the last map could be a Dust 2 if it manages to sneak its way through the veto, that could be an upset potential. You have your one home map, you know, for example, Cash or Inferno, and then you try and get that upset map in the third.
Have we seen a Dust 2 today? Because I'm pretty sure we haven't. No, not in any of our games at least. Maybe not on the May stream as well. But we have Cash and Mirage coming in, Snod. So your predictions looking good so far. I imagine Inferno is a good middle ground for both these teams. So that would make sense coming in last, unless, you know, both of them don't veto Dust 2 and they just go, oh, screw it, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But do you really think we're going to three maps? That's the question.
Last map is Inferno, so, you know, not boring, but rather expected. You see Dust 2 going to be banned out by Cloud9, actually, and that's a Train ban. Trying to see it from far away could be quite difficult. But, yeah, Sharks banning out Train makes sense, obviously. And for Cloud9, removing Dust 2, obviously, they don't want no chance of the upset. And when you have these, you know, lesser-known teams, such as Sharks, coming into this sort of tournament, you don't want to be throwing away maps that are so brand new and you never know what they could bring.
I mean, it's not like Cloud9 have lost the best of three on LAN to an unknown Brazilian team before. We look back to WESG in the quarterfinals, I think it was, where Team 1... No, it was quarterfinals where they got knocked out, wasn't it? They got knocked out by Team 1. That was the whole upset.
I'm pretty sure it was in the groups.
I was there, but I may be wrong. I may be wrong. We'll check
I'm pretty sure they didn't make it out of the groups. Team 1. You
might be right. I don't know. We'll go check that. We'll go check that. But again, you know, this is something that Cloud9 have lost to before. They've lost to these kind of unknown Brazilian teams, and I feel like just because we don't know who Sharks are, that is no reason to put them down coming into a game like this. We've already seen how much talent there is in Brazil. And not only that, but how these unknown teams can come in and win events. And I mean, look at SK. You know, 2 years or 3 years ago, we didn't know like these players weren't relevant on an international level, and then they go and win 2 majors in 2016 like it's nothing.
Wow, interesting about the Brazilian scene right now. Obviously, for this roster of Sharks, there's a few names that really stand out. For me, has to be Exit and RCF. These are the two young guns, you can say, that are supported by more of the, older experienced players. Nak being the IGL and captain for this Brazilian roster, used to be the former, not in game leader, sorry, used to be the former coach, while Fauna was in game leader back in 2016 Luminosity. So he has that pedigree, that high-level CS pedigree. These big LANs, it's not his first rodeo, but, attending the LAN as a coach is very different to playing it, especially as the IGL as well, when the pressure's on your shoulders. So in this relegation best of 3, will they fall out of the tournament, or can they try and make it through into the next stage?
I'm really excited to see this. Even if Sharks lose again, it's going to be valuable experience that they can gain. They can go home and go, okay, right, this is what we need to improve. This is what we need to work on. At least, these are our problems. And it's nice to see them getting experience. I think a lot of people coming into this event were kind of expecting it to see NTC to come through this qualifying, maybe.
No, NTC weren't in.
Oh, of course,
that was Belazonte qualifiers
yes,
that they won.
You're right.
Because I watched. I went back and looked at it. I watched the Sharks demos, and they played versus Icarus Gaming, and I was thinking, where on earth is NTC? And obviously, the season had started before, obviously, the NTC roster actually formed, so therefore they were too late. Obviously, next season they could try their best to do that. Obviously, they won the Belazonte qualifiers, so it shows, are they the best team that's currently in Brazil? There's a high chance. So now they have some competition in Sharks.
And again, I'm just excited to see if Sharks can actually take a map here in this series. I'm not expecting it again. That being Cloud9 being clearly a very strong team, but the fact that Sharks didn't just kind of roll over when they were up against Mouse Sports, they put up a fight. 10 rounds on Inferno again. That's a pretty good fight considering the form Mouse Sports have been in recently. And as well as that, again, we have a whole guaranteed at least 2 maps for Sharks to show us what they're made of. And hey, you never know if they start things off right, they get a pistol round. We could see them go on a bit of a roll. If we look back to that Mouse Sports game earlier, they got the pistol, they started going momentum 6-0, and then it was that one awkward round where they got shot through smoke, and then it just kind of all fell apart after that.
The Chris J one. That's the issue though, right, for Sharks. They had a massive game plan coming into the Mouse Sports matchup, and it's very apparent as well, just watching the way they played, okay?
Yeah.
On the pistol round, they had the counter-strat to smoke off quad, run-up arch. They knew that Mouse Sports like to stack 3 towards B. First buy round, they know that if Mouse Sports don't have Molotovs, they don't take banana control. Again, they walked up banana for free, executed on the B site for free, and they won that round. So they got off to that 5-0 start by winning the pistol, winning the first buy round, and snowballing the advantage. How much prep had they done for a Cloud9? They had days and days of preparation to go over if they needed to. Heat maps, counter strats, learning pistols, learning setups on the CT side of Mouse Sports. And now on cash for Cloud9, they're not going to have that same, due diligence coming into this matchup.
Well, we know how motivated these Brazilian rosters can be, especially the upcoming ones, right? When you're getting your first opportunity at a $750,000 LAN, that's not something you take lightly. So I'm sure that Sharks have at least done some prep and have done some research coming into this event on the teams that they're likely to be facing and will be facing here, like Cloud9. So I'm sure we'll see something along those lines. And again, the kind of storyline throughout the entire day when we've had these underdog matches is no way Cloud9 are preparing for Sharks.
It's true. I mean, I said this about Greyhound as well. The idea that in IM Sydney, Greyhound were the unknown quantity. They came in, they upset. Now they're a known quantity in teams. As we saw with Liquid, now they're going to be respecting a Greyhound, a team that took, SK out of Sydney in a best of 3. Coming to so for Cloud9, in terms of respect, if they do play the non-respect style, will FNS's, structure of his team really allow that? When we have Stewie 2K leading the charge in terms of aggression, it's different. Now that we have FNS, what's the different approach going to be on their T sides? Are they going to play slow, methodical counter-strike, take map control, try and working executions off of map control or reads they have in the middle of the round? Or is it going to be, the contact style of CS, the aggressive style of CS, having, individual players, Tarek, for example, try and gain those entries off of pure raw skill?
I think one thing we need to take into account as well, looking at this matchup, is Cloud9's previous results, how they got to this lower bracket slot. If we remember back to just a few hours ago, they got 16-3'd by FaZe. Now, again, it's FaZe. Anything can happen. FaZe, again, just won Sydney, looking very good. But 16-3, wouldn't you say that's a bit of a scary scoreline coming into this game now for Cloud9?
Well, have they... shaking off the LAN nerves maybe with that first one. I'm not saying these players are going to get nervous on LAN, but the first game of a tournament, there can always be a bit of the shakiness. But I believe enough fluff as you may be ready to dive into this matchup here. Hugo, nearly called you Jack.
It's fine. You have habit. It's okay.
So
I'm not judging.
Round number 1 then. Cloud9, obviously this is the map pick coming up from Sharks. So they decided to start on their CT side. This is going to be Tarek playing towards middle. Diffuse kit from Skadoodle playing towards the A side. He plays the headshot angle towards Car, so the fact he has no Kevlar makes no difference currently. As we see, Exit surprisingly having the grenades here. I said in the preface before the game started, Hugo, Exit for me is the potential next Brazilian star to try and emerge from this sort of scene.
Well, let's see if Sharks can impress us here as well as they did in Inferno earlier on today. Cloud9 being set up on this B side of the map with the triple setup. Sharks have read this quite well, but will they commit? And even if they do, again, the whole point of this strategy for Cloud9 is they want to go for the 5-on-5 retake, and if Sharks don't find an initial kill, things can certainly look difficult. JNT does have the PT50 though. That allows for a range fight. That means he could certainly win this duel versus Skadoodle on the USP. As now the smokes get set up for Sharks. Smoke on the cross, the flash is in as well. In 30 seconds they'll be making their way to the bomb site with the bomb plant coming in.
Well, they still have 2 flashbangs to work with into the after plant, which is crucial here, Hugo. Exit with the flashbangs as the bomb does get planted. 5 versus 5 as we do see things go underway.
Yeah, Finesse just tapping away, trying to get back in through the smoke. He does find the kill to JNT, and that falls as well. Sharks already looking to hold on to this bomb site, but Cloud9 are coming in big with some frags. Nice jump from Tarek. He'll just be able to decapitate RCF. And what a mess of a round there. Cloud9, very strong retake, going to start things off on the pistol with their first round. And Sharks, a bomb plant at the very least. They do get the money guaranteed for that buy coming up in just a couple of rounds' time. But for now, it should just be those pistols.
Yeah, 1-0 then from Cloud9. All down to their game plan. Skadoodle playing the headshot angle at car, playing for the retake towards the A site. Sharks make their way in towards the A site. Obviously, the smoke's there towards highway, blocks off the vision. They had the 2 flashbangs on exit, but weren't able to connect at the right time. Cloud9 with the aggressive retake, they land the headshots. And there you have it, 1-0 now in favor of the American side here as the buy comes through. Only for Cloud9, obviously the bomb going down for Sharks. They can save this round into round number 2, Hugo. Into round number 3, they can go for the buy. As long as they have around $2,000, we can see the AKs, smoke grenades, flashbang investment into round number 3.
Oh, flash into main, but everyone's blinded. RCF somehow gets out of there on automatic thanks to his lucky stars. Smoke going down in main to prohibit Sharks from committing to this A site, but automatic is still hungry for this kill. In the meantime, Sharks are still set up outside of A, but that bomb begins to rotate round towards the B side of the map. Again, you know, not a huge amount of pressure on Sharks this round. They can afford to let it go, but if they take a couple of kills here, even get a bomb plant, that'd be great.
As you said there, the bomb plant being the real goal now from Sharks into this round. They have the smoke from Nax, so they can smoke off either towards CT or B main. Now that they've actually cleared up B main, they can use that smoke for CT. Tarek spots the lurk out towards Miller, going to be rejoining his teammates now towards the B side, but actually from Sharks. Indecisiveness here as the flashbang comes out from Rush, going to be able to spot no players from Sharks towards the B side, which means, where are they going to be lurking?
Ooh, damage for Skadoodle again. He got quad peeked in middle. He's going to get tagged down. Tarek finds one, but the Glock takes him. Sharks, while they're very low on HP, at least they're taking guns away from the side of Cloud9. Not only that, utility is gone. That's one thing you have to take into account here for Sharks. They've made Cloud9 waste a lot of nades. And it's just a little detail that can come back to haunt Cloud9 in a few rounds' time. But for now, it's just Knack. He needs to die before this time expires. And in fact, there's no one on B, so they might not even kill him. No, FNS has dropped in through the vent, so he can finish him off. Cloud9 will have the round in their favor, 2-0. Only one casualty, not the end of the world.
Yeah, well, this is what we've been waiting for, Hugo. Into round number 3, the first buyer into this best of 3, the loser of this matchup, will be exiting Dallas on the first day. In terms of the buys, Cloud9 feeling confident to keep their hands on the SMGs. It's going to be the 2 rifles set up from both Skadoodle and FNS. Rush going to be onto the MP9, and then the UMP is going to come out for both Tarek and Automatic. So they have some UMPs to work with. They use them for information. They can push towards B main here, get aggressive with the SMGs, and try and find some information going forward.
Let's see if Cloud9 can take any initiative in this round. They have 2 pushed up towards B at the very least, but the Sharks not really contesting it. They're just holding very passive on this side of the map. It's Leo alone. No nades really to work with here for the Sharks side after the initial bombardment. They have 2 smokes and a Molotov. Not the proudest buy, but let's see if they can get anything done with it. With Cloud9 only having 1 man at least committed to this A site, Sharks have an opportunity.
Only 1 more smoke remaining now from Sharks. Into the arsenal from JNT. As a failed smoke towards highway will give information now. Tara can spot the right side of it, see that no one's crossed their main as of yet. The peek comes through. One smoke remaining, Hugo. One flash is all they have left now to take control of the A side.
They're trying to play contact and sneaking, but the issue is this gap that you mentioned in the smokers, allowing Cloud9 to have all the information. One frag from JNT, boost up on Shroud, and that's perfect from RCF. He catches Skadoodle. Sharks now have another entry kill, and they have a man advantage as they try and get this plant in. The issue is automatic. It's the bomb on the other side of Forklift, but it's dropped. Exit finds the kill, and now this plant can come through. FNS, the only close player to stop it. Rush going to flash him around the corner, taking the engagement. He does win it. Spray not going to be transferred, but they should know a second man's here due to that earlier flashbang. Rush just trying to play contact, but he's spotted with one kill. He doubles down. MP9 is so good, but it's not good enough to stop Leo. The late lurk up through middle will save Sharks this round, but with only one player surviving, Snods, that's costly for the side of Sharks.
Costly indeed, and for Cloud9, how much was it really hemorrhaging their economy as well? I mean, they had the SMGs into the round, and even then you can see Automatic have enough cash to invest into the M4, but apart from that, across the board for Cloud9, the buy is going to be fairly weak here into round number 4. Sharks here going to be on the single Galil, double AK, double SMG buy as well coming out from themselves. So this is one of these moments, Hugo, where the game's on a knife's edge. Sharks win this one, they break the money for Cloud9. They're going to be forcing out Eco as well, and they can get off to a strong start, maybe a 3-2 advantage or 4-2 advantage. But for Cloud9, if they win this one and they put the reset into the round loss bonus back to $1,400 for Sharks, Cloud9 can get off to a very, very delicate start here on cash. As we see the push coming in towards B already, smoke coming in towards CT as RCF and the SMG just charging in towards B, sides theirs. This could be a safe goal for Cloud9.
Yeah, they've already lost the first man. They have no one else even close to the site. An AWP and a CZ and a scout to retake. Those are not retake weapons. Definitely not the 2 scopes at least. Cloud9 don't even want to contest it. They keep very far away from the site, play the range, as their guns allow them to do so mainly. Rush close outside of B as well, at least in middle, trying to lock down any kind of exits that Sharks go for. Because if he wins a duel, he can run away with an AK. But Sharks, I imagine, will be exiting together in this round, not wanting to give Cloud9 any more single engagements. Nice contact play, though, from Sharks. Again, Cloud9 with really no information as to where that push was coming through. And by the time they had the information, there were only B players dead. And with the way that Cash has played, at least, you know, you're very unlikely going to be retaking that round. So Sharks, they find a 2-2, they keep things in check, and they keep everyone alive.
As you said, simple contact play in towards B. They group up, one flashbang comes in. RCF just charging onto the side with the MAC-10, finds the anchor kill. And we know notoriously how difficult it can be to retake that B site. So many crossfires that the T's can play in afterplants. Under heaven for headshot angle, checkers for the headshot angle, B main, obviously concept. There's just so much you can do on that B site where you peek with your teammate, and it makes retaking the site incredibly, incredibly difficult. Plus the tight choke points as well, you can just smoke off towards CT and towards B main.
I'll pause here. I think that's a technical
yeah.
for the time being. No team having called that, so we'll just be waiting for that. Would you say the change of weapon from RCF from a MAC-10 to an MP9 is an upgrade or a downgrade on the T side?
I would prefer the MP9. I think the higher rate of fire, you know, versus non-armored opponents is very, very strong. Obviously, in terms of opponents and what they're going to be wielding, there is going to be Kevlar on all 5 of these players. So
no head armor though. On 4.
Yeah, just FNS going to be wielding the helmet. So apart from that, this is the thing. I said if Sharks won this round, there's a chance we see a 4-2 advantage for the Brazilians. And this is why. Cloud9 get reset. They go for the force buy now, behind the scout, behind the AWP, behind the M4 as well from Automatic. But if they lose this one, Hugo, they're down to an eco. That's how the 4-2 scoreline could prevail. Conversely, though, can Cloud9 prevent that from happening? FNS close range in towards middle. Has the backup as well of Tarek towards highway with the scout, leaving just Skadoodle alone towards the B site with the AWP. And Sharks just group up outside A, and we're going to see another contact into execution from Sharks. Very, very one-dimensional, as we saw in Inferno, but if it works, fair play.
The issue is Automatic on the spot on the boost. Will they even check this? They just run right by, and he gets 2. The bait play for the forklift is good enough as Automatic triples down. Finally, the trade from Nak, but he needs to double it instantly. He needs to stay alive, because he's the only man left up on this T side. Bomb can be planted now, but he's still limited to a Galil. Caught at the back of the site as Cloud9 reposition and set up for the retake. They want to make sure that they are grouped for this. Or at least in positions to try and catch a rotate. Nak isn't able to move away from this site, not back through the T spawn at the very least, as FNS is holding on to it. And Skadoodle makes sure CT is his domain. Nak realizes this. He's going to just get the plant in, play it safe, commit to the A site as Cloud9 can come in for the retake. Right now, Skadoodle should just be spotting, at least holding the cross, making sure he can't go back towards main. So therefore, FNS can kind of move up through main with a safety assurance that no one is going to be getting in his face. As Nak holds the angle, it's all about timing. Which way does he peek? FNS finding the fight, Nak giving away his position, but Skadoodle has a Molotov for the job, forcing him out into the open. FNS should be winning the duel, but no, not even needed. Skadoodle's molly will do the job. A nice retake there from Cloud9, playing nice and reserved, not overcommitting.
Initially there in the retake from Cloud9, they only had a smoke grenade. I was thinking there was a chance there for Nak, but it must have been someone calling. There's a Molotov on highway. Skadoodle picks it up, chucks it out towards quad, and that will finish the job. 2 for Sharks and 3 now for Cloud9 as they bring it back with the force buy. As we head into round number 6, it will be the Mac 10 investment once again for RCF. He had enough cash actually for the AKs. This might forebode some sort of fast set execution, maybe a fast mid play, maybe a fast boost through the middle site, or maybe even a door burst on towards the A site. Crisscross smokes middle, bursting through door, fast paced and aggressive to really capitalize on the investment that is the Mac 10 itself. Otherwise, we will be questioning why it is in his arsenal. But it will be automatic soloing the A site. Once again, we see a heavy B lenience from Cloud9 coming out from the Americans. Tarek playing in towards Ven. FNS and checkers. And again, a good read from Sharks. They're not falling into the trap of the 3-man stack from Cloud9. They're coming in towards the A sites. Automatic and Skadoodle to lay down the line and hold the defense.
Molotov forces him off the back of the site, though. They have to go to default. Sharks have them cornered into the site. Nak already going to open things up. Skadoodle with a single kill on the defense, but rushing through the smoke is Rush, and rushes to his death. He does. Shark have the site. 4v2 now on Cloud9. I mean, is this even a retakeable round?
They have the defuse because the Molotov as well. No smoke to try and throw out to the bomb. And especially when you're outnumbered 2-1. But let's look at the cash as well for Cloud9. Think of it this way. They're now back onto the $1,400 round loss bonus. So Tara can drop over a FAMAS. Rush can invest into an SMG. I mean, FNS is only going to be able to drop over a Scout potentially to Skadoodle. The buy is going to be rather poor. For Sharks, they bring it back 3-3.
And with 4 alive, that's really good as well. They're going to have a lot of money to play with, so things are looking up potentially.
It's hard as well to dissect what sort of plays we're seeing from Shark as well, because simply put, there's no mid control. They just group up outside B, they group up outside A. They have a execution pre-planned. You know, it's almost as if they call it in freeze time. This round we're going to execute A. And they have 4 go towards A, 1 play hold for the mid-main push, 1 play smokes out connector, falls back into A main, they flash, they Molotov, and they burst the site.
Because normally what you see is they'll run a default, right? They'll have maybe a game plan in their head roughly. They find a pick towards B and they go, okay, we go for X, execute towards B, judging by this pick that we've got earlier in the round. Instead, Sharks are just going for 5-on-5 executes, which are very risky, yeah, but it is actually working out. So not necessarily the wrong call to make, just a bit of a difference, right? They're playing less defaults. However, this round, they are holding on for the time being.
Yeah, and this is actually really good adjustments from Sharks. The reason being is the textbook style of CS to counter what Sharks are doing is aggression from the CT side. The reason is aggression means information. Information means you know exactly where Sharks are going to be executing. If you have an alt push B, you counter boost middle, for example, you're going to know exactly where Sharks are, you know, settled and ready to execute. So now they hold for the default as they're expecting Cloud9 to play aggressive here. But instead, Cloud9 go back into old ways. They play passive. And now we may actually finally see Sharks go for some mid-control.
Walking straight on up. Skadoodle trying to make contact as Rush gets tagged down, but they're both low. Does return the favor, though. RCF dropped and the trade straight back in for Nak. However, the damage is so important here for Cloud9. They've put out a hell of a lot. 4-on-4 now with 1 low player per team. The issue is we still have this limitation on Cloud9 of weaponry. 2 CZs, a scout. No utility really left to right home about it. Skadoodle going to get spotted moving into that B site. Cannot reposition. Now only Tarek left to do it, but he has got a scout in his hands. First flick found. Second as well as he drops Nak up in the checkers. And Tarek is just making a mockery of Sharks here. J&T trying to keep himself alive, but Tarek says no. And that, my friends, is some content.
That's some content. Indeed it is. Round number 8 then. 4-3. And Sharks, they go for the mid control. They go 1-for-1. It's a 4 versus 4. They flood through Ven into checkers, but they also flood straight into the crosshair of Tarek's scout. The players were tagged fairly low as well through utility. HE grenades from Cloud9 connecting, lowering the health down from Sharks to be able to be tagged by one shot of the scout. And there you have it. 4-3. Once again, the battle of the Force Spires goes back and forth as, you know, we haven't really seen any breakouts from any of these teams. Which team's going to win 2 in a row, force the eco, and gain the abundance of rounds and get that early advantage here into this best of 3? Because whichever team does break the opposition's economy is going to get up to a 3-2-round advantage. You know, for Cloud9, maybe they can get to a 7-3 sort of scoreline, 6-3, and at that point on the CT side, they've already gained 6 rounds.
Very back and forth start to this map. That's one thing I'm pretty
competitive.
happy with, right? It's not a stomp either way, which can typically be a lot more boring. This is exciting. You never really know who's going to be taking the round. With the mixed bag of buys going back and forth, now it's Sharks with limitations. Always creates for an exciting match. This time Sharks again, quick setup outside of B.
It can't be the same again from Sharks. One flashbang in towards door, and the rest of the players, Hugo, group up outside the B main smoke. JNT most likely in Sunroom lining up the smoke for CT. Rushes forward the smoke here, playing aggressive, and this could be the difference maker.
Yeah, there we go. Some proactive play from Cloud9. A bit more aggression and working out well for Rush as he plays on the edge of the box. Going to drop 2. Not only does that shut down the push from Sharks, but it means that Cloud9 have the ability to rotate a man over if they need. However, clearly confident enough. And Rush has actually swapped his MP9 to a Mac 10, so it's going back and forth here for these two teams. Both of them want the opposite.
Furthers the argument about which is better. 5 versus 3. As there is still a minute left on the clock here for Sharks to play with. What is their plan of action? Do they hold for CT aggression through mid-main if Cloud9 want to get a bit more exuberant and get some information? But I don't think so. I think if you're Cloud9 here, you just hold. If you're Sharks, you're hoping that with time, Cloud9 rotate back towards middle, Cloud9 rotate back towards the A site, expecting Sharks to go through T-spawn back towards A. So right now, that's the game plan here from the Brazilians. Hope that Cloud9 over-rotate away from the B site. But instead, though, Hugo, there's still 3 players here.
This Vents rotate's going to be all that they really need, although Tarek instantly dropped. Rush cornered, but a run through the molly from JNT will not work. Rush 1Gs himself. Never what you want, because now it's just Skadoodle in the vents, gets caught through the legs, and somehow Sharks have pulled this back. However, with all this ruckus going on, do they expect the man at the back of the site? It's FNS, stabbing from the back. He's going to get 1, trade straight back in, and automatic keeps the round alive for Cloud9. 5-3, Snods, again, as back and forth as this game has been.
Yeah, that was a close round, considering that it was the 5 versus 3. Sharks doing as expected, waiting for Cloud9 to rotate back towards the A site and back towards middle. So instead of a 5 versus 3 towards B, Skadoodle automatic rotated back towards A and middle. So it's a 3 versus 3, and that's why we saw the trades go in their favor. So they made sense of that sort of play.
Yeah.
And it nearly went in their favor. Now, back to the drawing board here for Sharks. They go for another force, but only 1 player survives, so they know that Cloud9's money is just so close to being reset fully. So, A main control here coming out from Cloud9. So the aggression which I wanted to see coming out in full force into the 9th round, which is pleasant to see. But so was the door burst, and is he going to be able to counter the setup from Cloud9? The CZ's working magic so far as the trades go in favor of the Brazilians.
And rifles picked up now for Sharks as well. They have some weaponry to hold onto this site. Equalized by the Molotov of Skadoodle, but the flash out and exit just trying to hold on. Sharks have fallen back into a very passive post plant, but the issue is Cloud9 are now flurrying over the bomb site. Tagged by the AWP, exits low, and Skadoodle's looking for a little bit more. Rush has even come in for support. Sharks have moved their way back to the site instead of A main, as the bomb wasn't planted for them, but Skadoodle, he needs to watch his smoke. They're going to walk right through. There's the first. Does he expect the second? It's a no. JNT doing damage, and exit walks in through as well. It's going to be a Sharks round. Somehow with pistol Snods, they'll pick it up.
Well, they go for the force buy, knowing that Cloud9's money was weak. Only automatic survived the last buy round. And it really reflects right now on the arsenal for Cloud9. Scout for Tarek, Deagle coming out for automatic, but apart from that, CZ's across the board. Skadoodle weighing up the options. Does he go for the full force buy with a scout, but lack utility? And no, someone had to be the kit boy for Cloud9, and it's going to be Skadoodle. Minute 40 left on the clock here, and so far, Sharks is going to go for the slow default across the map, holding for door, A main, mid main, and B. Expecting Cloud9 to push with some CZ somewhere close range. No one can be taking the bait just yet. Question. Oh, after you.
No, go ahead.
Ladies
Go
first.
ahead.
Ladies first.
Oh, very kind. Thanks, darling. The question is, when do we start seeing ecos coming in, right? Because we're in one of those force buy wars where both teams are constantly buying. We need one team to stabilize and force the other actually to into a full eco so we can see how this map is really going to go. It won't stay like this forever. The Sharks looking to double down again. Nak has found the opener, but the close CZ in middle keeps things in check. Walk through the smoke from Automatic, and FNS caught in the site. Luckily enough, Automatic's position was covered. So Sharks do have the site, and they do have a 4-on-2 now with Cloud9 forced out.
Only Rush remaining here in towards the middle sector of the map, and high chance he just saves the UMP. He has a CZ as well, so he can drop that over to a teammate into the 11th round. But apart from that, Cloud9 going to be losing out on the war of attrition, you could argue, as it does go 5-5, and Sharks now should be forcing out the eco from Cloud9. And in that case, they can get to the 6-5 advantage and claim a lead here on this first map on Cash. But remember though, Hugo, this was the map pick from Sharks, so even as this is very, very competitive, going into Inferno, going into especially Mirage as well, how are Sharks going to favour on those sorts of maps?
I mean, the thing is, we are so early days. We really can't make too much of this. This is really good from Sharks to see them actually, going toe-to-toe with Cloud9, but the question is, how long does this stay like this? Do they keep this up throughout an entire 30-round map? Or do Cloud9 eventually just go, nah, I've had enough of this and start slapping them back? That's the question here. The issue is, for Cloud9, is now we have that eco that we've been talking about. So this gives Sharks a really good opportunity to start to get a bit on the board. A 6th potentially, and very likely, in fact, with Cloud9 having limitations. Rush having not thrown over the CZ there, a bit of a mistake. Considering he's not going to use 2 guns at once. Those are the dual Berettas.
2 guns are better than 1. But minute 30 left on the clock, and once again, Sharks open up the round with the default. So they're changing their style of approach here. Before it was contact plays, 4-1 style of CS essentially. You have one player try and fake one half the map with a flashbang smoke or a Molotov. The remaining 4 players grouped outside the other half of the map, hoping that that one fake from the single player will draw rotations away from the site that they're really hitting. So, will it continue to bode success? As we will find out into the next portion and the next chapter of this half, really, because we're in a bit of a stalemate now, as Cloud9 wait to concede the eco. Once Sharks have the advantage, can they keep on to it? That's the big thing here. How are they going to adjust their T-side? So far, very, very execute heavy. Cloud9 going to the next buy round. How are they going to alter things? Are they going to get aggressive in the face of Sharks and show no respect?
This 4-man ace stack could be a bit of a problem, but it doesn't look like Sharks will be committing there. With already the bomb outside of B main and mid control taken, Sharks can easily split through the vent. That'll be the name of the game, but Cloud9 in the meantime want to throw in some tricks of their own. They've pushed up on it, they've taken control. The issue is, in the meantime, they've lost the B site. So Cloud9, yes, they can contest for this retake, considering it's a done round regardless, and they are going to be buying up next. But how much can they really get done with these pistols? If anything, Tarek running through the smoke to his death. Automatic unable to hit the wall bang. He may receive a bit of a treat back himself, and he does. Tag down to 12 by the AWP. That will probably send him running. Although with nothing really to say for Cloud9, they just hope to get some exits.
Yeah, exit frags really the only goal for Cloud9 here before we head into the round number 12. Hope that someone from Sharks get a bit too audacious, hunts for the exit frag, gives away an AK potentially, or base case scenario and all, but incredibly unlikely. Sharks do win the Battle of the Force buys and get to that 6th round here on their T-side of Cash, their own map pick. So we can't look into it too much so far. As we said versus Mouseport, Sharks had the 6-0 advantage, remember?
Yeah.
And they ended up losing that one 16-10. So we know that Sharks are great, from the get-go. But do they just taper off as the game goes on?
They're like a sprint, but they're not a marathon fan.
Yeah. Not many people are fans of marathons. Let's see, what's the buy going to be like? Or lack of buys.
Ooh, I like this actually. I prefer this. A half buy. They had about 4,400. You can get a buy there, but you're going to have rifles and, smoke flash, not really head armor, maybe a kit on a couple of players. It's not a really good buy. And Cloud9 know that this has been difficult. This has been back and forth. If they go for that kind of, full buy that's not a full buy, they lose it, and Sharks can really run away with this half. But if Cloud9 eco one more, and they still have a chance to win this, next round they're going to have AWP, maybe even double AWP if they need it.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make. Why have they saved here? They had enough to go for a rifle buy with a single AWP potential on Skadoodle, but they've gone for the decision to go for the second AWP, sorry, the second eco. And is that to invest into the double AWP setup? Is that to afford the Molotovs required to take control towards A main, show some presence towards middle as well, Molotov out towards boost, and see if they can try and gain map control back. A good flashbang comes in, doesn't quite connect though as they have players playing counter flashes. RCF lights up the site so far. 2 early frags found as the execution once again comes in favor of Sharks.
And looking so good. Again, this A site's going to crumble for Cloud9, and even the rat coming in through B will just be good enough. Leo gets that eventually. It's the lone mid man, and Sharks, they're not even committing to A. They found all the kills, but they're not even going to get the plant in. They rotate the bomb to B. Luckily enough, Nak will finish off Tarek, who's kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place in middle. And this looks like a very hard place for Cloud9, because Sharks are now in the lead by 2. A tactical timeout from the North American side. Definitely a good time to do so. Let's see how they choose to invest, because again, we have the money for the double AWP snots.
But it wouldn't even be effective as to what Sharks are doing.
Yeah.
Think about the game plan from Sharks. Default into a fake towards one site, into an execution towards the other. AWPs are notoriously strong versus contact style plays. If we saw Sharks peeking over boost, going out through middle, peeking up through highway, coming in towards vents, peeking through B main sunroom, you know, going for A main control early. Instead, Sharks, they're not giving away these early frags, especially versus AWPs as well. If Cloud9 go for the double AWP setup, they could be digging their grave.
So, say you're Cloud9's coach, right? Assuming you get your visa to go to America.
That was a good one.
Thank you. What do you say they do here?
What do you change? It's a tough one. Obviously, you know that Sharks don't play towards middle early on. You can try and go for a mid boost early, or go for the mid boost, wait it out, wait for the execution towards A or B, then go for the boost players over, come in from the flank behind, get backstab frags. You could also have a player push through the B main smoke, or an AWP, potentially we see AWPers do that. Try and get information towards sunroom. If there's something sunroom, you can smoke it off. Rotate the second anchor towards the A site and have a stack towards A.
Or you could just get shot through smoke.
They made the right play there. They took A
yeah,
control.
no, I agree.
But, you know, maybe...
Can't account for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not everything goes in their favors. They are now down a player. Frustration potentially going to amount here in the camp for Cloud9 as they lose a player early, and not really one that you could see through through skill. Instead, it was through a smoke.
Well, this is perfect for Sharks here to lead off with this half, because if, again, you know, Cloud9 went for that previous eco. If Sharks find 8, they've guaranteed, almost guaranteed, got 9, because Cloud9 are going to have to half by the next round. Let's see this mid execute. Very execute heavy team, as we already know. Sharks going to throw all those Molotovs to clear out everywhere in middle, but they won't commit with this, funnily enough. Instead, they go back towards A. RCF does commit to the boost, but Rush will drop him. Now Sharks wanting to come in through main, but in fact, this has actually gone very wrong for them. Cloud9 have rotated almost everyone towards this A site. There's 30 seconds left, and Sharks have to push. They have to commit to it. Smoke on the cross. Cloud9 know it. The jig is up. Sharks need to move right now, because if they want to get this plant in, they've got to get through 3 angry men, and Skadoodle finds 2 of his own. Other AWP shot missing, but there's a second man up to try and help him out. Rush does drop, though, and now it is just Tarek at the back of the site. 13 seconds left up with the bomb plant needed, but Tarek not going to give them the time of day. He drops one more man, and he just has to stay alive. He just has to be the thorn in their side, and he is. The round for Cloud9, big mistakes from Sharks.
Second thoughts there from Sharks towards the A site. They thought if we could execute towards A, we can draw the highway player towards the A site, boost over middle, and flank from behind. You know, the thought process made sense. They were banking on automatic, on Rush, rotating away from middle, Hugo, coming towards the A site, and they were hoping they could come in from behind and flank them from boost. But instead, Cloud9, nerves of steel, even though the paranoia of losing the A site was definitely in their sights, they still didn't budge. They killed the players trying to make their way over boost, and they have the 4-man stack towards the A site, able to capitalize off of the indecisiveness from Sharks. But another play as well from Sharks was trying to draw out the Molotovs and the utility from Cloud9 as well with that execute. So it was a kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Waste the utility from Cloud9 and get the flank in from highway. So it was actually a really well called round.
Well, let's see if they can do it again back towards A. Skadoodle here with the AWP. He's found 1. And coming in from the top line, though, he doesn't seem to realise RCF going to drop it, and Tarek hiding at the back of the site just needs, again, to stay alive, to buy time for that rotation to come through, but it won't. Nak's already dropped him, and the man in the middle, FNS, going to try and keep things at least safe. 2v2 now with Sharks very low on the site.
Defining round here as we see the 2 versus 2 ensue. Both players from Sharks onto sub 50 HP. 2 shots from these AKs will eviscerate both these remaining players from Sharks. But all they have here is a flashbang.
Now the contact coming through, the door open and the Molotovs in. Does force Knack over, but they don't watch the cross. He gets safely to MBK. They need to check that, and they do. A dink comes through to the teammate of FNS. He tags automatic, but he's on the bomb. And Exit surely can't stop this now. There's just not enough time. The defuse is stuck, and the round is won. Cloud9 are going to be able to equal up with 7-7. At one point in this matchup, Snods, this game looked very, very dangerous, but now Cloud9 have at least caught up and kept things in check.
Weathered the storm. You're up versus the underdog. The underdog gets off to a strong start. He has the, confidence to go for the buys back and forth, and still have the audacity to go for the force buys, even though it didn't seem likely they would win it. And now you've cut your losses. You're still here neck and neck as we head into the final round of the first half here in this first match of this relegation. Let's say relegation match. Losers best of 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, the loser of this matchup will be going home early in the first day.
Essentially relegation.
Essentially relegation. Not quite envious level. But
no one's quite at this level.
So, default again from Sharks. As they've been trying to up the tempo, we saw fast mid-play in the last round. This time, fast playing towards the B site, but I felt like Sharks were better when they played more towards their game style. Slow, passive into an execution. So, FNS playing the back checkers position as the backup of rush towards heaven.
Oh, who checks first? That's a question. It doesn't seem like the man in checkers actually wants to check. As ironic as that sounds, Leo just waiting. And FNS not committing to this duel either. Probably a safe play to make. And oh, this is so awkward. 1 minute on the clock. Do Sharks commit towards B? It seems to be the case. The bomb's already begun its rotation, and they still need to clear out this back box, because if they don't, then things could be very, very complicated. FNS peeks out with 1. Trade straight back from RCF, as Leo did drop the man on the back of the site, so Sharks actually have opened up B. Cloud9 a man down, make that a double, but they pull it back with Skadoodle dropping Knack.
3 versus 2, the wall bang. Oh, inches away from taking the life from RCF and turning this into a 2 versus 2 after plant now for Sharks. But instead, still alive on our screens is the young gun RCF himself, one of the stars from this rising Brazilian roster. As the grenades and utilities dished out towards the B side, but nothing connects. As Cloud9 are walking into impending doom as it's RCF to find 1. Tarek with the eventual trade frag there, as we see 8-7 at the half. Sharks winning the half on their T side. And just to break down that round just a little bit, one of the issues with no one peeking towards the B site, Hugo, is a lack of information. No one had information towards A, no one had information towards middle from Cloud9, which meant Sharks are able to walk all the way up into checkers without being spotted. Therefore, by the time Cloud9 know they're on B, it's already too late. The site's in their domain, and the retake is their new mission.
I mean, that's the nature of cash, really. This is like the only map in the map pool to the same extent where you can kind of commit to a site and the CTs have no idea until it's too late, right? You know, we've seen, I'd say of all maps, cash is where you save the most, because Sharks can just walk into B and Cloud9 can lose both players without a kill, and then they're in a 5-on-3 on the other side of the map, and they go, well, we physically can't win, we have to save. So Sharks exploiting that very well, but will Cloud9 be able to pull it back themselves? They're going to need a big half. 9 rounds needed to find this victory, at least in regulation, and hell, with the closeness of this game, I wouldn't be surprised if we see OT.
Yeah. Most definitely overtime could be on the cards here into this matchup. Smoke coming out towards Highway. RCF with a clinical 2K with the P2000.
Yeah, dirty work here. Knack as well, following up with 3 headshots. I mean, that's a perfect round if you ever need it for Sharks. I mean, what?
Wow.
Analyze that, Snods.
No flash thrown from Cloud9. It makes sense, right? Typically, you see, you wouldn't flash A main to peek quad, would you? No. Instead, you would just jiggle peek it, and then you'd flash the site in case it's a player quad or MBK, right? So for the door players to jump out and swarm that player.
It's very hard to flash A as well.
Exactly. So when a player like Knack and RCF land those sorts of headshots on the first contact as you jiggle peek, there just isn't really too much room for error.
Yeah.
So Molotov out towards Boo's, going to delay Cloud9 momentarily. As they have gone for the force by all players bar Skadoodle. Obviously, for the reason is he's ultimately going to be investing into that AWP into the first buy round in case Cloud9 do lose the force. But with how those early force buys went back and forth, there's definitely a good argument to be made that this could still be a 8-9 scoreline.
Very possible, but Cloud9 going to need to show us something pretty incredible. Sharks not giving them too much hassle just yet. Fairly passive CT setup. Vent's broken and Cloud9 already working their way slightly into middle. You can just see Exit is going to exit. He walks straight out of highway back towards the A site. They give the mid control away to Cloud9.
Big weakness right now for Sharks towards the B site. No presence towards Vent. They can get in through Vent, get down Vent. If they trade the frag onto RCF, Hugo, this B site's completely clear apart from JNT, but if Cloud9 can get in towards Vent, trade these frags, this could be a force by victory.
And they know where he is. They haven't locked in the corner. They've already spotted him. Skadoodle runs right past, but still gets the kill with a Glock. They need to move onto the site before that rotate comes in, because you can see Cloud9 already holding on to check as the Sharks begin to move towards B. JNT, another frag, a boost back up from Rush, could catch Leo in the backside, and it does. The bomb's even going to potentially rotate to A in this position, and now Sharks double back to the site that they originally left. There's only one man here. Exit going to be joining in tow, but FNS has already snuck through the site. The issue is he's alone. He's been skewered. Now, with Cloud9 one by one starting to get dropped, its kills coming in through all parts of the map, but with 7 seconds left and the bomb dropped in main, Sharks have won the round, Snods. It came a bit close, it went a bit dicey, but luckily enough, Sharks will find it.
I said, just looking at the mini-map, there was a distinct weakness towards Vent. And the reason being is, no players from Highway spotting Vent, no trade potential from the CT setup as well from Sharks here. JNT playing default site. He could see RCF, but if players flooded down checkers, there was no trade potential.
No.
Which meant it's very easy to be isolated one by one, give up the B site for free, you know, potential for a 3 versus 3, but that would heavily favor Cloud9. Instead, the rotations came just in the nick of time, and a great play from JNT to not overface into the scout as well from Tarek to not give away the anchor kill. And Cloud9 were hoping with 20 seconds left that Sharks would have over-rotated from the A site, but they didn't. Even with some of the inexperienced and young players we see on this Brazilian roster, they still hold their nerve.
Cloud9 just rushing into A instantly off of spawn. Rush going to be able to find the opener, and suddenly Cloud9 have just found 3 kills on A. Sharks have been completely torn out of the round. Rifles upon rifles now for Cloud9 to play with, skewered all over the floor. And Tarek, he's not done, he's just running around, finding kills left and right. It's 3 to find Cloud9 their 8th. Bit of a messy round there. You look bewildered.
Yeah, I actually went to look at the economy, look at the buy, and as I've looked at the buy, there's already 3 players dead. It's one of those rounds where, you know, you lose focus. I didn't even lose focus. You look away for a few seconds, and suddenly it's all over. I was about to question why Cloud9 went for the force, but I explained why they did. The reason being is Skadoodle killed that second to last player from Sharks, which meant that Cloud9 knew the CT economy was very, very supple, very, very weak, and would be prone to being reset. And here we are in front of our eyes, Hugo, a reset economy from Sharks.
Yeah, just pistols, armor, RCF on a scout. This is weak as everything. Now Cloud9, you know, going for the double force in a row, a very ballsy move. It's paid off. It's put them in a position that could easily claw back this second half. Already entries up towards A, and Sharks forced off the angles. RCF somehow getting out of that one alive, and he will be thanking his lucky stars. Shouldn't be re-peeking into that. The round is over. JNT going to get caught on a wrap. An exit. Losing the battle. So another round for Cloud9. They've started to show what they're made of here in the second half and don't want the underdogs to take a victory on their map pick.
I think that last force by victory for Cloud9 is the defining round of this whole game we're going to see.
Yeah.
I think if Sharks had won that one, it would have gone to 11-8. Cloud9 eco, 12-8 scoreline. The Brazilians having a 4-round lead. They could have closed that out. Now they're the ones facing the eco. They're the ones facing the economical downside and harsh reality that it's going to go all squared up 10-10. Cloud9 now have the momentum in their favor, the economy in their favor. Sharks cannot make one mistake, otherwise it's going to blow out proportion.
Let's see, Cloud9 going to be dealt with a bit of a rush here as the CTs begin to push up in main, and as quick as you have it is over. Skadoodle and Rush combined for 5. And that is a 10th taken on the board. Nothing too special. Again, just default pistols there for Sharks.
Well, that's what you want, though, for Cloud9.
Yeah,
nothing special on an anti-eco. 4 players alive. You know, you can lose that one player, get traded early on, but clean, clinical.
And they didn't even lose a man.
Oh, they didn't. There you go.
Even
5
better.
players alive. So cash is going to be in abundance for Cloud9. You can see $10,000 now for Skadoodle, $7,000 for Tarek, Rush, FNS, even $8,000 for Automatic. They have thrown away some of their SMGs. They kept one onto FNS. That might be the trade frag for FNS. As he is throwing grenades towards the B side, trying to see if he can draw rotations.
Oh, RCF, careful, out of position. Tarek going to catch him.
So why is RCF rotated there, Hugo? Guess I'm going to have to get to that point a little bit later as action does continue. A main control now from Sharks. A great reaction to losing your mid player. But once again, weakness towards Ven. All down to the AWP now from the Brazilian player JNT.
No armor to play with, but he's found the first. Tarek dead at the back of Checkers as Rush begins to wrap the left side. He's got to watch his heaven. He does. Exit caught. And JNT with a head angle, not even going to be able to stay alive. Rush doubles down with Leoso tagged as well. It's a third kill for Rush. He is having a field day on the B site. And it's only Knack left alive. That's a definite round win for Cloud9, surely. Knack may have a kit and he may give this an attempt, but an attempt should be all it is. However, a couple of low HP players gives an opportunity, but he does not even want to bite down on that round. He'll give it to Cloud9, 11-10 here to the T side. Do you want to talk about that mid-rotate?
Yeah, all right. The reason he had to rotate in that way. Think about the setup we saw from Sharks. They had 3 players towards the A site, 1 towards mid, 1 towards B. Why were there 3 players A? So they could flush into A main and get A main control. The thing is, when you have 1 player middle, 1 player B, that mid player is now the B second anchor, right? As soon as smokes, grenades, maybe even a kill as well comes towards the B site, that mid player has to be the backup for JNT towards B. What happens? FNS with the MAC-10, charges in towards the B site, smokes out B main, mollies out Checkers, flashes as well, mimics, you know, that there's more players there. That draws the rotation from sandbags or B at close middle. Back towards connector from RCF because he had to rotate 8B. Gets caught in transition. And there you go. It's as simple as that. Sharks go for the A main take, so they have 3 players there. Leaving B weak. Obviously, the mid player has to rotate to back up the B player. Gets caught by the mid boost. Overall, Cloud9 playing chess.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was very clever. They clearly set up very well for that. So nice work, at least, and it's paying off, isn't it, Snods? 11-10, they have a round advantage now. A saved weapon from Knack, but that is it. We only have $3,000 for Sharks, and while that may seem like a lot, it's not in the grand scheme of things. Not in CS, at least. They're not going to be able to buy up for another round. It's got to be a grit your teeth and take it. One of your favourites, I hear.
Oh, absolutely love it. That's what I mean, though, right? From Sharks' point of view, losing that defining round with the force buy from Cloud9 when they were up 10-8, that was the moment where Sharks may just be going out of Dallas off that 1 round. Going into Mirage as well. Cloud9 weather the storm early on Cash, the map pick from the Brazilians. Seems all poised to be a 2-0, but can Sharks still deliver even when they're not expected to? AK saved by Naka from the last round. $2,000 across the board now from Sharks as they have a high round loss bonus so they can afford a full buy into the next round. Will we be seeing the double op setup come out as well from the Brazilian side? And it could work actually really well. Orp in towards a main, or push towards door potentially. We know that Cloud9 do play it. Obviously automatic lurks around there. But let's see in the next round. Can these CZs try and deliver magic as it seems like they may? The bomb drop towards a main as they have the 2-man advantage early on.
Oh, that's amazing flashbang work from Sharks. Now with another man pushed up alone in mid, that's a 1v1-1. What? And RCF even can get a dig up on the B bomb site. Everyone's winning their duels, and that's all Sharks need. Pistols and kills. 11 rounds taken. What on earth was that, Snods? Not only do they win both kills up in main, but an RCF gets a dig. The mid shutdown comes in as well from, I think it was Exit.
Yep.
That's all you need. That's a round that Sharks should never be winning.
Well, ignore everything I just said.
Yeah, forget all of that.
Because this gets really, really spicy now between these 2 matchups. We didn't really expect such a competitive game coming into this one, Hugo.
Yeah, and it's
we
close.
thought, we thought, okay, a 16-12 on one map and then a blowout on the other one. A 2-0, fairly comfortable for Cloud9. But Sharks, right now, putting up a good fight into this one. Automatic once again in towards door. 2 players towards the boost position of Cloud9, and we see the A main take coming out here. Originally from SK, so it seems like the Brazilians have copied their brethren. Molotov in towards the back of A main through the A main smoke. Flash is coming as well. You then smoked it, and you have full presence. They can actually boost the player up here towards Shroud if they wanted to, or the boost. But what do Cloud9 react with? They know that Sharks have control towards A main. They have to take either control towards B or control towards middle, and it seems like it will be the latter option.
What I'm waiting for is for players to start faking the fact that they boost Shroud. Like, throw a smoke in main, wait till Cloud9 get close in main, and then make the drop noise off the boost, like the player has just been boosted, and fake that out. That would really be 5D, but no one's on that just yet. Maybe in the future. Rush. Very pushed up in mid, but kind of isolated because he's so low. Does catch Leo out, changing weapon, and Knack as well, caught on the spray. Rush has made this happen for Cloud9, and with the mid players dead, Sharks now have no A control. They've lost it. They've only got players in the CT spawn, and in fact, they're going to stay there till the next round as well because they look to save. Cloud9 have taken a 12, pretty much guaranteed now because Sharks aren't even committing to the retake. In fact, with these post plants very close to the A site as well, it could be pretty quick. If Cloud9 want to chase, they might work this out pretty soon.
This is a massive save from Sharks. Remember, they have the magical round with the pistols, but you win that round. You had a $3,400 round loss bonus from before. That's now been reset to $1,400. Simply put, Hugo, they cannot afford to lose weaponry right now. They have to survive with all these guns.
A hard reset coming through, but look at FNS. He's already in the CT spawn. He's already hunting for these kills. They're going to have to make contact. They have to, otherwise they're going to just get mollied out in the corner. That's happening to JNT right now. He may win the duel and double down, but there's a loss, Snods. Even one death there. That's so big, as you mentioned. We can't see guns dropped over in the same way. They'll be able to buy, but again, it's no money left up. It's all the cash being spent here from Sharks. And this late in the game, these are the worst points to eco, right? Because if you eco, you're giving away literally one of the 6 rounds left in the entire map.
Round number 24 then, 12-11 as Cloud9 bring this one back into an advantage for themselves as we see the buys as well laid out in front of us. AWP for JNT, AWP as well for Skadoodle, so we can potentially see the AWP duel flash in towards door. And I said, do you take the AWP towards door? Seems like Automatic was definitely ready for that one. They have the man advantage now, 1 round away from resetting Sharks fully, putting them down onto an eco, and that could be the 14th round secured as well here, especially now as they find a second.
That's so awkward as well. Exit was just trying to cross from highway to the site because they'd already lost the man there, being JNT. Now Sharks, they do want to give it a go. They do want to actually try and commit to something here because they know the money is in a state. They can get a lucky couple of kills, maybe they can win the round. Tarek is not going to expect that corner position from RCF and blindsided. Sharks with a pick, but I need a lot more than that here, and Automatic is already on the wrap to try and stop these players from saving. There's RCF dead. Another man all the way in the T spawn, but I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter to Cloud9. They can take every casualty around because look at the cash they have to fall back on. 12K on Skadoodle, and that's even before the win bonus. About to get a little $3,000 thrown into their pockets. And Sharks, if they can hold on to these guns, there's something, but I don't think it'll be enough, Snods. It's 13-11. Things are starting to look a bit more dangerous, a bit too close for comfort.
Seems like deja vu repeating itself here from the first matchup from Sharks on Inferno versus Mouse Sports. A very strong, confident lead early on. Slowly tapers off as the momentum starts to subside in advantage of the favourites, which is obviously Cloud9 here.
Yeah, if you believe it, right? Considering how close this game has been.
Yeah, I mean, a few defining rounds, a few rounds that could have gone in either team's favour. This could have been a 13-11 reversed. However, tactical timeout being called by Sharks, and the last one at that. 30 seconds now to try and recalibrate themselves and think, what can we change? And what can they change in reality, right? We know that Cloud9, if they lose if they lose a main control, they go mid. Do you set an AWP up connector maybe? Do you set an AWP up highway because you know that once you take a main control, they're going to funnel in through mid, try and get in towards vent. You can try and get an AWP there, situated towards middle. Do you get an AWP towards checkers in towards the B side, hoping that FNS goes on a wild one and chucks out some grenades and tries to gain early control there? It's a hard call, but I think the answer may be aggression for Sharks. If they carry on playing passive, they are going to lose these Angels versus the star players from Cloud9.
That's been happening through and through this half. Let's see if Sharks agree with the sentiment. They do have a bit of a buy here in terms of a couple of rifles and some CZ and some MP9, sorry. Cloud9 already setting up towards the A site early on. A close position from Knack. He has to be very careful. Nade going in deep. That's a Molotov, in fact. He's just trying to keep Cloud9 isolated inside of main. The players that have already made their way through cannot have support, but Tarek doesn't need support. He's found one, he's found two, and already Cloud9 have traded back that initial pick from Sharks. In the meantime, Automatic snuck through door, and that is perfect for Cloud9. That's all they would have wanted. 14 rounds surely going to be happening here as Sharks look to save.
Save they must. 2 versus 4, no defuse kits. Only 1 Molotov and 1 smoke in that sort of situation as well. Being down 2 players, you have a higher chance of winning the round if you save the weaponry, push with those weapons, get kills into the next round here. round number 25, I believe, or 26 even. As it will fall 14 to 11, and Sharks are going to be all out of cash. Huh. Actually, in both ways. Out of cash the map and also out of the economy. So
this looks like a mirage, Snuds. What's going on?
Well,
it's getting hot. It's getting a bit of an inferno right now as Cloud9 only 2 away from winning this first map. Oh, no. Oh, that got close. Don't lose anyone. Somehow Sharks survived, only just by the skin of their teeth. Keeping 2 players on that B-bomb site. The Molotov almost finishing them off. And Cloud9, they are going to be very happy with this.
Really, really strong adjustment there from Cloud9. So far for Sharks, they've done that same A main take 4 buy rounds in a row. So FNS, or whoever which player called it, decided to have one player play at the forward locker's position in A main, play counter flash, have a player play towards the box there in A main. You play counter flash, you wait for the execution, and you get those frags nice and easy.
Oh, that's awkward as well. They try and get aggressive. They try and force a kill, as you said, would be a good idea. But
towards
Tarek,
B main, exactly.
He is going to get tagged up. He does fall back, though. Stays alive.
But it may be too late. That B main push could have happened rounds and rounds ago. We know that Cloud9 send one player there to throw grenades. Can you catch him off guard? It seems likely you can. If he had an AK there, he easily finds that frag onto Tarek. Minute 15 left on the clock here into round number 26. As this may be the last buy round we see from Sharks, as they are wielding 2 FAMASs, 3 SMGs, 2 defuse kits for Exit and JNT. 1 smoke left with a minute left on the clock here, Hugo, so that's really not foreboding anything too positive here, or to be optimistic about. As mid-control once again falls in favor of Cloud9. Now they can split vents towards the B side if they wanted to. They can try and find a pick towards A through highway, but it seems likely we do conclude towards this B side.
Yeah, throwing some flashes towards A just to sell the fake, keep Sharks lenient to rotate off of this A site as FNS drops in through. X are going to hear it, but he gets spotted. FNS with the frag, and now it's just a man at the back of the site. The man trying to hold on to this round and potentially even this map for Sharks. RCF with the MP9 does find one. Rush on the headshot angle, and JNT coming in for support. They've lined up. JNT doubles, and he found 3 in the round, dropping the bomb. 20 seconds left up for Skadoodle to save the day, and he's got a 1v3 to do. They can easily just push him as soon as he goes to this plant. In fact, they may opt to do so. No, they get in position. They start to drop in. They start to get aggressive, and Skadoodle gets isolated. JNT with a 4K to save his team's fate. Sharks are still in this map, Snods.
Only in a 2-round deficit behind the favourites, Cloud9, as it goes into the next one. 14 to 12, as we were depicting that round to be match point coming up for Cloud9, especially when we saw the 5 versus 3 coming in towards the B side. They found the entry frags. The site was theirs, but JNT ripped it out of their hands. From heaven as well, it seemed like Cloud9. Typically what happens when you cross the site, 1 or 2 players cross the site, the remaining players play towards checkers, B main, under heaven, you play the afterplant positions. You don't need 3 or 4 players on that B site. No one was playing, as I said, B main or checkers to hold the heaven run out. Made it very easy there for RCF to capitalize off of that one. Sorry, JNT to capitalize off of that one. So, going forward, it seems like door push coming through. Is that a door push from Leo? It's something.
I think he's on the boost. Yeah, he's on the boost.
So,
Looks a bit weird, though.
Did he? There wasn't actually inside.
I think someone was maybe spotting door or next to door at least, but no. The boost is up for Leo. He's in position. And his teammate, Knack, is just on default.
At least for Cloud9, they have a lot of monetary reserves to fall back on. $10,000 for automatic, $8,000 as well for multiple players from the American side. So they are affluent in this scenario, so they can buy even if they lose these rounds. So Sharks are really up against it in terms of economical pressure. Cloud9 can buy again and again and again. So no free rounds for Sharks. They have to earn it through hard work.
Flash up, avoided though. Exit may have an opportunity as Rush expects a blind player on the other side. He'd spotted him earlier on into the round, and now Exit's in a great spot. He can't afford to re-peek though. Skadoodle was posted. Not anymore. Tarek is instead taking the position of Rush, so he looks to maybe late split. The reason Tarek isn't peeking here is he's waiting for Cloud9 to set up for this A play so he can late split highway and kill the rotations.
Cloud9 walking into the perfect scenario now for Sharks. The elevated angle here from Leo. They can play the crossfire as well from Forklift. towards the boosted shroud position as they line up their grenades and they line up their fate as well.
Oh, double spray from Leo, dropping the bomb. Here's that late split from Tarek, but it may be too late. Too little and too late, because he's got nothing else to do. Nax dropped him. Automatic crept out, but he knows his players all over the site. There's a double, but there's only 7 seconds left, and the plant needs to come in. They'll just deny it. The second he sticks it, he's not found the position. I don't think he's even got time, and they're just going to push. They fake the footsteps, and he's out. Sharks will win the round.
Automatic dies after time, but he's still very rich there with $11,000, even though he doesn't receive the round loss bonus. Second tactical timeout going to be called for Cloud9. As you can see, sweat starting to arrive at the brows from the American side as pressure's really started to amount. Think about the stress and pressure on the players from Cloud9. You win the major, Stewie goes to SK. You now have FNS, more of a, strategic in-game leader, tactical in-game leader. And that's where your star players really have to deliver numbers.
Well, crunch time is here, Snods. And although it is illegal to hunt sharks in many countries, Cloud9 are apparently breaking that law.
Is it? I guess, obviously, yeah, because...
And that's Wales, isn't it? Not
I was gonna say,
yeah, that's completely wrong. It's probably illegal somewhere. Either way, not in Dallas.
Are illegal somewhere, mate.
Not in Dallas. Well, Cloud9 fast play towards B, but JNT going to shut it down with the AWP. It's RCF dropped by Tarek up in the checkers, and still Cloud9 look for the really fast split towards the vents. They're trying to go for this initial B play, something we haven't seen from them so fast-paced, but it's not working out. JNT repositioned to the back of the site, and a kill here could make this round Sharks. It's done. He's found Rush, and now with a 4-on-2, Sharks are in such a good spot. Cloud9 running back towards A.
You can see the adrenaline pumping through Sharks' veins right now as they over-rotate away from the A site. Leo, drunky, yeah, looking drunk right now as he's peeking towards Highway. Automatic, capitalizing off of the misfortune there from him. 3 versus 2 now, as this may be a chance for Cloud9 to bring this one back into their favor.
Molotov overstopping the plant, at least for now, but Tarek's waiting for this peek. He knows he's so close to the angle. As soon as Nak just walks a little bit to his left, maybe walking to his death. Plant in, but it's not very open. It's not really for Tarek. He'll be able to see the strings of the defuse kit, but he won't be able to actually stop it. Very hard shot to hit. As now Cloud9 hold on to the site. Sharks try and move their way up through Highway and Car together. Exits tagged up, and they have a little bit of utility to try and cordon off these players. Smoke towards main. That's a good smoke as well. Cuts off Tarek, but he's going to have to push out, keep himself in this round. He dies. Nak now moving round, and only one man left up. Automatic dead. And Sharks, they brought this to 14-14. We will be seeing at least 30 rounds here in map number 1, Snods.
Potentially more as well, as both teams fighting tooth and nail to claim this first map. And in terms of the underdog stories as well, for Sharks, if they lose this map and they're disheartened about it going into Mirage, Cloud9 could easily run away with that one. How many times do we see the underdogs get so close in the first map and then blown out on the second one? This is their map pick, Sharks. They have to at least secure 3 maps, so they have to take cash. Because we know Inferno is their second, one of their favorite maps to play on. It's one of the maps, well, it was the map they qualified for this event on. And with a map that potentially sees them through as well to a latter portion of this tournament. As we see, once again, single player outside the B site. Tarek does the smoke in towards B main to deny information early on from Sharks. JNT smokes out the Molotov, and he peers over it. Spots now on towards Sunrim. So the interesting thing is, where does RCF rotate? You can leave an AWP solo towards B if you wanted to, rotate and anchor towards middle. But instead, Sharks keep 2 players towards B, Hugo. This is quite strange.
I think this is them knowing the fact that, Cloud9 have hit this B site numerous times. If Cloud9 just burst B right now and Sharks lose their only man there, that's the round over. They want to have a chance at least of having 2 players per site and being able to take the fights and actually win it. Skadoodle jumping into Leo. And that's a pick the way of Sharks. Smoke down to isolate that kill and disallow Cloud9 for getting the instant trade.
Such a strong bait setup right now from Leo. And Nak as well towards this A side. It's these sorts of plays that in high stress, high tension situations can really prevail. If Cloud9 don't check that corner towards MBK, this could be a bloodbath here and Cloud9 could be up against match point.
Time is playing against them, 30 seconds left, and they have to commit towards this site. Sharks having not rotated, having no information. It's down to 2. Rotates can come in for the retake at the very least, but if Sharks can just put up 1 or 2 more kills before they go down, this could be all they really need to try and get this 15th round. Leo through the smoke, and that close as well. The climb up to heaven, drop from exit, and automatic looking for a double down. He's done it. Leo's still putting up kills, and with 4 right now on the site, he's looking for the ace. It won't happen, but FNS, this round probably won't happen. He's just got time. He's got the plant in. They're going to try and push forward, but he's found it. It's a 1v2 now to try and hold on to this round, but it's not going to happen, and RCF moves in to secure 15 for Sharks. There may be money for Cloud9, but it won't be a lot.
This might be a... Oh, there's no pauses left for Sharks as well. Earlier on in the day when we saw them versus Mousesports, each and every time they won a crazy round, they would pause because they were just so high off adrenaline. We know the passion behind these Brazilian players is paramount, uncontested across the whole scene globally. They have the passion to win, they have the desire to come back from defeat, and when they were down 14-11, that magical round with the CZs, the pistols, the P250s have really reignited. We see the resurgence here for the Brazilians as they bring it back to match point. Can they close this out and at least guarantee 3 maps?
And Cloud9, they have been just insane in terms of having all this money the entire second half. They've just had stacks of cash that they've been falling back on. Now, finally, only now at round 30 do they just have enough to buy. A couple of players even lacking nades. Their funds have dwindled, but just at the right time. This is enough to get the job done in terms of rifles and having that AWP, but we're going to need something massive here for Cloud9. Again, set up outside of B. RCF, fairly aggressive position on top of the box, but Cloud9 won't be contesting for now.
Cloud9, slow, passive round early on, establishing the default across the map. Automatic leaving door, coming back towards middle. He could be mollying out vents here. Actually, no, just going to flash mid here and allow the players to come over boosting, go for the peeks in towards connector, towards sandbags, towards highway. Skadoodle spots the shoulder blade from exit.
What? Oh, not a fan of that peek exit, and Skadoodle certainly is. That's a free pick.
That's sort of the inexperienced plays we were expecting to see from these young guns. In the moments of high tension, high stress, they just can't handle it, and they overface. And now exit has to watch from the rear and be a backseat driver in this round as it goes 4-4. Oh, no, FNS can exit. 4 versus 3, Hugo. This is looking to shape up to OT.
Cloud9 with only 25 seconds left though, and Sharks are pushed up. They've got information on the back line. Tarek's been dropped. Now it's actually not so bad for Sharks after all. If they can try and stop this bomb from making its way to the site, and Nak certainly will. There's one. Another man coming through, but JNT shuts it with the AWP, and it's just left to the AWP at the T side. Skadoodle, wallbang headshot, and bomb going down on the site. He'll have enough time just for the plant. But RCF with a full set of utility coming back in from the heavens, but will he be an angel?
Oh!
It's a no! Skadoodle keeps it alive. 3 kills there with the AWP, and he's going to find the clutch.
What a crazy, crazy shot there from Skadoodle. Whole screen flick up vertically. And it's those sorts of clutches that separate the men from the boys.
You're a clutcher like that, Snods. You have those mad AWP flicks, I hear.
Only for the ladies, mate. Round number 31 as we wait for...
I thought I was a lady. You called me a lady earlier. Come on, be consistent, Snods. Show me your flick. We are in OT, though. This is not the game we thought this would go to OT, at least not in cash.
Well, yeah.
I mean, of all maps, actually, probably cash.
Yeah, I was
going
to say, probably cash.
But still, not what I assumed would go to OT, regardless of the map.
I mean, you can see, you know, illustrated perfectly there. Exit, when it was a 5 versus 4, he found the first frag. No need to peek. Over faces. And this is the thing. Some of these players that can be quite trepid or you know, not tentative, shaky, you could say, is they want to get the round with over as quickly as possible. Get the pressure off them as soon as possible. And that reface there is going to haunt him for days, weeks, and months following this.
If they lose this game, it's down to that play. It's literally down to that peak. It could have been, at least. You know, they could have won the round easily without that. But let's not harp on it too much. Let's see. Sharks can still come out of this with a victory, but Cloud9, having pulled back with a 1v3, certainly going to relish the second opportunity to win this game, as they've had plenty of them.
Molotov out towards sandbags. She does fail. They're not quite deep enough. Oh, no, it does actually affect. Apologies. RCF and Nak both being spotted out towards middle. Sharks, so they start to let this matchup slip, or vice versa for Cloud9 as they walk into the spray from exit, but it's only 1 frag found.
Oh, and Leo caught as well. The late peek, he's holding the wrong angle there. Russia's too close. Expected a player to be at the back of the boxes, but Rush is going to see the barrel around the corner, and that leaves just JNT. Cloud9 reinvigorated with a round of their own, the first of OT. 16th taken, and JNT giving away his position, but can't even find a kill for it. Cloud9, do they even hunt here? Surely not worth it with 16k. Wouldn't make a hell of a lot of sense, knowing they can just rebuy the AWP anyway. But that being said, Cloud9 can rebuy their rifles, so why not?
It is 16,000 MR3, so you can afford the buys each and every round. Oh, a nice flick there from JNT. He's shown some really nice shots actually this tournament thus far. I say thus far, only 2 maps in that pool. But we'll go for the reface. We'll concede his life to Skadoodle. And now, Cloud9 back in the driving seat. 16 to 15. Sharks. Now they're the ones facing the deficit. And again, we look back at what we saw in the past. They were the ones down 14 to 11. They brought it back to OT. Which, as we said, we don't want to harp on it too much. Should have been their 16-14 victory. But now for Cloud9, this is where, if you're Cloud9, you show you have the authority in this matchup, you have the experience, the pedigree, the caliber of players to close this one out now that you've weathered the storm of OT.
Let's see what Cloud9 have into this round. Early setup outside of B. Already pushed very close, in fact. A bit of a spray through the smoke from Sharks will prepare Cloud9 for a few more seconds, but they do take control. They have, or almost have, checkers. It's just that man at the back, RCF, waiting for contact. Leo's actually found an opener. He's pushed up in main as well. We've seen a lot of aggression from Leo in this exact position. A boost up into vents from Cloud9 inside of checkers. This can easily catch a mid player off guard. We have exit up in the Z connector. He might not expect it, but RCF will expect the player close. He gets one. Tarek trades, but at the cost of a lot of health. And with the advantage now for Sharks and Tarek tagged up, things are starting to look difficult here for the North American side.
Minute left on the clock now as the bomb makes its way in towards B main. 3 versus 4. Sharks still have control of the man advantage here into this round, but actually, Bogdan's lower, of course. Swap the AWP out to the low HP player, that being Tarek. We know he's a very versatile player. Can, of course, wield that up to great efficiency as well. And they are going to be regrouping and rekindling with their new in-game leader, FNS towards the A site. In terms of utility, 3 smokes, they can smoke out towards quad. Front of the site as well if they wanted to. The real key for Cloud9 is getting the bomb plant down. If they can get the bomb plant down, there's a chance, but it doesn't seem likely.
FNS just slips through, though they have no idea. He can completely uproot this entire round. Leo might expect the back flank, and he does, taking that kill. 2 for him now as he looks for a little bit more. Tarek blindsided, turning the wrong way, and Leo, again, another 4K on the A site. This man is constantly locking it down. 16 to 16, keeping things in check. Last round of this half of overtime.
What's Cloud9 going to call then for the final one? They haven't done a fast set play just yet. A fast execution towards the A site or a fast B play as well. They haven't gone for a contact burst play through the B main smoke, for example. Not fast boost over mid main, or sorry, middle. We haven't seen anything fast paced yet. That's one of the things from Cloud9 prior. They could do the slow defaults, or they could up the ante, go for a high octane style of CS and do something fast back when they had Stewie. Can they show that same caliber of team style with FNS and play off of their own individual skill? Because on paper, this roster should be annihilating Sharks.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, but Sharks certainly showing some resilience here in overtime.
RCF pushing towards B main as well. Sharks with some good information towards the B site. We should be seeing a rotate from JNT or a player towards the A site. Maybe even have exit play highway so he's going to rotate towards the A site. As of right now, the Sharks still playing very, very passive, and they gain information, Hugo, but they don't capitalize off of it.
Well, here's Cloud9 seeing if they can find their own information on the A site. Rush has actually wrapped back round 4 and he has found the opener, but bomb drop, that's all the info that Sharks need. They can allow for a full rotate now, and of course, in the last round of OT, they certainly will. No saving left. Who will be the saving grace here for Sharks on the site? They still have a man up. JNT caught. There's Knack trying to hide around the smoke. He's got to be very careful as that begins to dissipate as his teammates are falling around him. So does he. Joins him in the grave, and RCF in a 1v4 surely can't get it done. Automatic closes it out, and a team ace for Cloud9 to find their 17th. Very apt there as we now head into the second half of overtime.
1 round advantage for Cloud9, and that 1 round advantage might not sound like much, but it makes a massive difference going into the second half of OT. The reason being is, It takes the weight off your shoulder, having to win all 3 rounds in the second half on the trot. Obviously, for the viewers at home, it's first to 19 in first OT. So for Cloud9, it's 2 rounds, and for Sharks, they have to win each and every T round here to win this one outright in first overtime. If they lose this round here, Hugo, the best they can ask for is to fight for a double overtime.
These games can get long. And automatic, he doesn't want it to be too long. He already wants to exit this round as he takes that first kill. J&T already set up. Push actually from Rush. The attention's drawn towards Squeaky, and that allows Rush just to get a pick and response. He pushes up on the boost and trades it, or sorry, keeps it actually in favor of Cloud9. A 5-on-3 taken already, and RCF somehow sneaking out of A to take a kill himself.
Gets another one as well. FNS finds that frag in middle, and automatic with the swift flamboyant flick there onto J&T. But all said and done, comes down in favor of Cloud9, 18-16, as they have 2 match points now to close this one out. The experience starting to really show. But great adjustment from Cloud9 into their first CT round. If you remember, on the CT side from Cloud9, I kept saying, Sharks, do not take mid control. Please, can you exploit this by boosting over middle? Finally, they do it. And ultimately, it comes back to aid them in that scenario. They catch, I believe it was Knack off guard towards the white van outside boost. They gain the advantage, 4 versus 5. But speaking of 4 versus 5s, J&T Zorp will grant that one in favor of Sharks. Can they fight for second OT and continue the dream?
Every time you think this game is done, you have entries like that. RCF catches automatic. The Skadoodle is not done yet. We saw him clutch this to pull this back to OT. Maybe he'll have to do it again on this A site. The Sharks already looking to find more openers. Exit's done exactly that. He gets tagged, but it's going to be certainly a worthy trade, finding that frag to FNS. Skadoodle now trying to rotate back in through highway as Tarek sits in the smoke on the site. They don't know he's here just yet, but they're going to work it out pretty soon because Skadoodle's making noise. He's been tagged with the AWP, and now things start to look difficult for Cloud9. A 2v4, and they've got to move fast as well. The bomb is ticking. Tarek wrapping background with one. The boost up on the top of the site, though, from RCF. He finds both. Now one more round of this overtime. Will it be victory, or will we head to number 2?
Obviously, with MR3 16K, you know, 6 months ago, Hugo would be saying there's no cash left for Cloud9, etc., etc. They're down to just SMGs. But now with the additional income, the expendable income as well, we do see 6 full buy rounds. And I really do like that alteration. It means you get the most competitive level of CS in the overtime. Yeah. What does Sharks call now? In the potential final round of their map pick here. Remember, if we go on to Mirage, we have to favor Cloud9 once again. If they can weather the storm on cash, it should be a 2-0 for Cloud9. But Sharks, they want to take cash. They want to see if they can draw this out to a full-length 3-mapper versus Cloud9 and try and get that upset on Inferno, as it is unlikely to tame Cloud9 on Mirage. But nevertheless, enough for the future, Hugo, and into the present. In terms of the buys, we're back to the box standard. Single opposite up for the T side onto J&T and 4 AKs to surround the rest of the Sharks buy. Conversely, though, a bit of alteration here from Cloud9. AWP for automatic, we've seen it aggressive towards the A site, towards door. This time playing more passive towards quad, waiting for Sharks to bring their execution to him. Skadoodle AWPing alone towards the B site. FNS in towards vents, it seems, as they have 3 players close in towards middle. So right now they're expecting a mid-take from Sharks. And right now, Hugo, they're not going to be wrong. This is a great read from Cloud9.
Oh, Rush with one. He doubles it as well. Trades in, but it may be too late here. 30 seconds left for Sharks to actually commit towards the site and get that plant in, but Tarek already has the contact about to be made on the highway. They don't expect it. That's a bomb dropped. He can just run. He doesn't even need to commit to this. He's got the time, or they don't have the time to play with at the very least, but he just continues to barrel out utility to try and waste theirs. Leo pulls it back. 2v3 now for Sharks as they look to split up the highway with automatic on the site. He's dead as well. It's a cross that needs to be caught from FNS, or do they play for the retake? 10 seconds left. Well, he spots it at least and gets the information, but the plant is in for Sharks.
My God, T. Hugo, somehow Cloud9 have really let this one slip. For the retake, there's no utility for either side apart from an HE grenade for Leo. As we see, dry peaks coming out from the CT side, so this is favored for the teams. As the peak comes in from Skadoodle, 1 versus 2, all left alone onto the new addition here for Cloud9. The IGL and captain has to pull through and show and shine by example, as it's all down to him versus the young gun, versus the new firepower from Brazil. Let's exit to eviscerate FNS in the 1 versus 1, and we see double OT as Cloud9 lets slip a 20-second 4 versus 2.
But that's Tarek re-peaking in the highway that gives away the opportunity to Sharks. Assuming he backs off in that 4v2, I understand he wanted to hold on to control of the bomb, but assuming he backs off, they can just play that 4v2. There's just no need to commit to the fight there, and they can just hold on to the sites. Again, we even see automatic challenge, which does make a little more sense considering he had highway down with an AWP to hold. But some overfacing from Cloud9 loses them another round, and it's not the most important round so far this map. We're now into another overtime. We're now into another opportunity. Either team needs to find 4 out of these 6 if they want to get the victory here on cash, or, hey, another overtime starts. You never know. At 18-18, anything is possible.
This is where you start to have to throw, analysis out the window. You're into double overtime in terms of... All right, mate. In terms of what strats you can call, you've used what you've got on the server back at home. Ooh. You've used what you've, prepped and planned coming into this matchup. Your executions have been seen. Your set plays have been discovered. Now it comes down to, initiative, quick decisions, mid-round calls are crucial off of picks. AWPers as well can really show their weights and their worth in gold here if they can find picks in OT and capitalize off of that and gain site entries from that. But it seems like if you are Sharks right now, if you go for the walk-in contact play towards the A site, you can then set up for an A site execution with Molotovs.
This man on the boost could try and shut this whole thing down. It is automatic. We've seen him get a 3K from this position before. And again, they don't check it. He just takes 1 and a second as well. How is he able to do this time after time? Tarek even comes in through the back line and the bomb's dropped, as is automatic. Sharks' chance of winning the round is extremely low as they try and look for anything, desperate for frags. Now Exit and Leo both get a kill each. Don't tell me that Cloud9 are going to throw away a 2v5, and FNS does not want to make that so. The backbone comes in as he shoots Exit in his, and Rush will clean it up. So Cloud9 do take their 19th.
Always great to see the boost position towards A main accumulated with a player towards Forklift. You can see how strong that synergy is. Symbiosis between those 2 angles, because the player that's elevated automatic shoots first. No one's looking his way, so suddenly everyone from Sharks has to look up and peer towards Boost. The players that are running out through Squeaky as well, Hugo, have to look up. Obviously, therefore, the player that's Forklift wide swings, shoots players in the back, kills the players towards A main. The players that are coming out through Squeaky, who are looking up towards the Shroud Boost, are getting annihilated from Forklift, and that was FNS in that scenario. So, from Sharks, the round made sense. You have your AWPer take contact positions. He clears out MBK, he clears out Quad. You then Molotov out those positions, and you execute the A site. It all makes sense. Problem is, though, Cloud9 had the perfect counterplay towards Forklift, towards the boost, and it worked so well.
Oh my god, Shark just ran through the smoke. P90 for RCF, and somehow it finds an opening kill. What are we watching? Matchmaking? Sharks have somehow taken B, and the bomb can go down as well. That's something Cloud9 certainly couldn't hope for. And you said it yourself, Snots, when you get to 18-18, strats go out the window. You've seen everything. You haven't seen everything. You haven't seen the P90. Just wait, we'll have Bisons next round. Negevs maybe, but the Molotov will drop J&T, so the bomb cannot be planted for now. But still Sharks sit with the man advantage, so they can slow down. They can wait for Cloud9 to maybe over-aggress and over-face, but Exit loses his fight in middle. They're waiting for him to try and wrap in through maybe the CT spawn, but that's not going to be the case with the duel being won by Automatic, who will now group up. Flash in through, AWP drops into the site, and it hits the shot. Line up for RCF, keeps things in check, and it's only Automatic now in a 1v1. Low HP on both players. No need to peek from RCF, but with the smoke down and the flashbang in, he just tries to hide. As Automatic closes the distance, RCF wins the fight, and 4 kills from him keeps Sharks in this.
32 frags from RCF, 18 years of age, as this roster from Sharks, all the way from Brazil, winning the Brazilian ESL Pro League, is a team that's young gun, up-and-coming talents in Exit, RCF, more established players in your J&Ts, Knack, former coach for Luminosity back in 2016 with Fallen when Cold Zero was added. And you can see the pedigree that the experienced players are trying to distill and spread onto the young guns that have the individual aim, that have the raw talent. And right now it's working rather spectacularly. But Automatic with the AWP towards door, finds one, can't quite connect the second flick. As the 1-for-1 trade really favors Sharks in the scenario. They can go back, play passive, as they're still so long on the clock. And this is where things get really awkward from Cloud9. Where do you gain map control again? Do you have a walk push towards B? Do you have rush clear out towards the B position? Do you have a flash in towards a main from Cloud9 potentially? But right now, all the game plan sits for Sharks just to play passive and wait to see the reaction from Cloud9.
Sharks just taking their time on this one. Will be that late A play once again, as they have already found a pick there in the form of automatic, but there's still two members of the Cloud9 side committed to A. Tarek sitting at the back of the box, and Skadoodle here with the AWP. We've seen him have some pretty fire defenses so far, but he is kind of focused towards that highway. Mid-split is open here as Nak tries to bait a little bit of a fake down towards B. Cloud9 not going to be rotating off of that. Now the real push comes in. The Molotov's down. The Molotov burning out Tarek, but he finds a kill just before he goes down. Exit now needs to follow up, but Skadoodle's there. Knife pulled out. Exit going to get legged, but he still finds the head of Skadoodle. That's insane now. Sharks are in a really good spot, but the bomb getting planted and Exit getting dropped. JNT doesn't need to fight. Nak is just trying to hold the cross instead, and he finds one. Rush as well towards the close wall of the car. Sneaking into position, but spotted. And Nak just trying to waste his time here. As soon as Rush makes contact with his teammate, Nak can just wide peek. But Rush is trying to isolate this duel. Damage through the smoke. And low on ammo as well. 10 bullets left. He finds it. Pistol out. Swaps to an AK as well. He's just going to jump on the bomb. Fakes it. Tries to force Nak out into the open, but he's not falling for any kind of mind games right now. Rush again tapping the bomb. Nak crossing. Only baked it into it. And Rush going to just stick it this time. He knows that Nak won't push, but he's going to be wrong with that. Nak wins the round. And somehow Sharks take it the half in their favor.
From what I said about Cloud9 winning 2 rounds in the first half of OT, complete reversal now for Sharks. 2 rounds required to reach that aforementioned 22 scoreline to secure map 1. For Cloud9, they need to win all 3. Now, onto their T side. So, round number 40. As this has been a very long matchup so far, Hugo. An hour and a half in.
The night is young, Snods.
I know, we've still got another best of 3 after this one, so we've got lucky with this.
Oh, that's awkward. Tarek's running into B. Look at this pace of Cloud9. They have had enough. They have just run into the sites, and they've already traded back to a 3-on-3. Would usually be favorable, but they're so low. Or at least FNS is, and he's about to be caught. Doesn't realize Leo's pushed up. So now Sharks with the advantage, but it's not held for long. Bit of an unnecessary push, considering they had a 3-on-2. Nak's going to get caught. And with that, maybe Cloud9 want to rotate and hit this A site once again.
Steps being heard there. Skadoodle. Here's the thundering footsteps from RCF coming from the B site. They know that Leo's going to be towards A. They can now rush in towards the B site, and the bomb plant should be theirs.
It's all down to this clutch. Where does the plant go in? They're probably not going to go for an open plant, considering they don't know his position just yet. So, well, it's open for B main. They don't hold control over it. Instead, Leo comes in, actually stops him right after the bomb goes down. He doesn't realize where the second player is, though. As we said, it's an open bomb plant, so he checks the spots that the bomb plant should be for. It's not checkers. So by that process of elimination, he should assume that Automatic is hiding within the site, but without full information, he sneaks in. I think he has a bit of an inkling. Yes, he does. Leo knows. Or he should do at least. He's just checking his CT spawn, and that's when Automatic peaks. Awkward timing, but it works out for Cloud9. The fast-paced round finds them 20.
All squared up then, as we head into round number 41. As you said, high-octane style of CS from Cloud9 showing no respect. They're charging in towards middle, towards the B site. They find the entries, and Sharks bringing it back, 3 versus 2. Nak pushing in towards A. Obviously, Cloud9 went for the push towards B. Nak clears out A, anticipates the stack towards, or the, play towards B from Cloud9. He calls for his teammates to stack there, walks in towards Magic Crosshair. As we know, he likes to lurk towards Squeaky Door. But this time, aggression towards B from Sharks as the aggression goes back and forth between these 2 rosters. Tarek out of the angle will be dinked down. I say dinks, just take it down a little bit there. 13 points of damage dished out by the HE. As now, with the information gathered by Sharks, they can stack 4 players towards A. This is a very strong round now for Sharks. That's shaping up in their favor.
Oh, Rush spotted the close player's barrel, so he actually went for a bit of a play, but JNT locked it down from Car. Unlucky. from Rush as Cloud9 now down a man. Don't want to commit towards this A site, it seems. Maybe they do, having second thoughts once again. They walk back up. The AWP spots the cross from Skadoodle, but Leo won't see him back. So some info for Cloud9. They know a man has rotated off of the A site, maybe considering this is not going to be too heavily contested, but that couldn't be further from the truth. There are still 2 players here and a man in highway. Tarek's got to deal with that exact player, Leo. Does he late split this, or does he try and be the opener for Cloud9? Does he try and find that frag? Or does he look for the late play? In fact, it will be the latter, because 30 seconds left on the clock. Cloud9 going to commit. FNS dropping the bomb. That's on the forklift as well. Now Tarek has to come in big. He's found the first, but the issue is there's no timer left for him to mess around and run around the map. Exit may get backstabbed, but he just moves out of position in the nick of time, and Tarek, 360, finds the kill. Skadoodle with the CZ, but he's out of ammo. 10 seconds left on the clock, and a man at the back of the site, plus RCF locking down the cross, and that's it. That's got to be the round, surely, unless Tarek can find this frag. There's 8 seconds left, and JNT does not need to commit to the duel. Tarek guns in, but JNT hits the shot, and Sharks, they're guaranteed at least another overtime.
1 round for both these teams makes a monumental difference. Cloud9, they win this one, and we go to triple overtime, Hugo. Conversely, those Sharks, this is their final round required to only claim map 1 victory. Going into Mirage and the second map pick, that is from Cloud9. So when we see this underdog storyline start to, you know, form together, the narrative's always a very close first map and a blowout on the second map. So Sharks are trying to avoid that by claiming the first and at least guaranteeing us Inferno, one of the maps which they qualified for this event on, versus Icarus Gaming. So Automatic once again lurking towards Squeaky Door. 2 players this time towards B main. Usually it's Tarek or FNS on their lonesome, dishing out grenades towards B main and checkers. So what's the call here? Now that we see 2 players towards B main, this might be a vent split towards the B side. We know that Exit plays middle towards highway, which means that it could be exploitable to go through vent, have a 2 versus 5 towards the B site. We haven't seen much presence from Sharks towards vent as well. Definitely something we could see them exploit, especially as well as there's an AWP from JNT towards checkers. And we know that AWPs aren't good versus volatility and, you know, versus fast plays which are against their narrative. Obviously, AWP finds 1 frags as it cocks its gun, traded out. So, seems like Cloud9 aren't actually going for a B play. Slowly creeping out through middle, exits here towards highway for the same story again.
Oh, but they have nades out. He lines up both. That's massive now. Sharks in a 5-on-3, looking to close out the first map here of this best of 3. FNS trying to save the day, but he's only going to get 1. Bomb dropped again, and Knack doubles it. It's Sharks. They will find the victory in map number 1 on their map pick of cash. And Cloud9 now fighting up against elimination.
Crazy, 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 crazy. We thought coming into this one, okay, this first best of 3 is going to be the easy, let's say easy one, the quick one.
Yeah.
You know, a 2-0, you know, maybe Sharks can put up some good numbers, maybe double digits on cash is one of their map picks. You know, a 16-11, then a 16-6 in Mirage, for example, right? Yeah. And instead, the Brazilians showing us the passion behind their counter-strike is just unrivaled.
Every time I think I know all the good Brazilian teams, this happens. And Sharks just come in, like,
crazy,
you know,
crazy,
qualify for Pro League finals and boom, get a map off Cloud9. What? Where has that come from?
And obviously NTC still have to show themselves at Belo Horizonte. NTC formed their roster too late into ESL Pro League Brazil, so that's why they weren't in that league, why they didn't fight to try and qualify for the LAN finals here itself in Dallas. So we've got some highlights to watch, and there's going to be quite a lot of them.
Yeah, I imagine so. Let's have a look at these, because what a map. Double overtime in just cash. Now, it's not, again, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and you said, you know, you expect Mirage to be a bit of a quicker affair. After seeing 2 overtimes, forget the map. Do you honestly still think that this is going to be a confident comeback for Cloud9, or do you think this loss will crush them a little bit?
I still think Cloud9 have this one in the bag. Anticipating potentially, you know, a 16-8, 16-9, maybe even higher than that, maybe even a 16-5 on Mirage.
Wow.
And then I think Inferno's a 16-11 for Cloud9. I think it's still the 2-1.
I'm going full Brazil. I'm calling 2-0
for
Sharks at this point, because I have no idea what's going on. This is incredible. Actually, to be honest, I think, yeah, 2-0 is maybe optimistic, but I think Inferno could realistically be theirs. I think Inferno, you know, we saw them put up a good fight versus Mouse Sports, you know, not a bad Inferno team. Of course, Cloud9 won a major on that exact map, but Sharks so far have impressed me, and if they're able to demoralize Cloud9 enough, who even knows what's possible? It's not like Cloud9 haven't been knocked out of events before due to Brazilian teams that are underdogs.
I mean, of course, when we look at their group as well, Mouse Sports, Na'Vi, FaZe, NRG as well, showing some very good recent form. A very, very tough group here, Hugo, and if they have a loss here versus Sharks, I mean, okay, you look at their group and you think, you know, you could see C9 maybe not making it out of groups here at Dallas. You know, lose versus Mousesports, Na'Vi, FaZe, maybe Heroic as well. But not the narrative where they lose versus Sharks.
No, and that's not even like insulting to say to Sharks. They came into this event as complete underdogs. No one expected them to even win a map, and now they're rivaling a map up against previous major winners, albeit with a slightly different roster, but that shouldn't make this much difference. So pretty insane stuff so far here on the B stream of Pro League Finals. Forget FaZe Mousesports. This is the game of the night.
It's very true. Very true indeed. A very long, drawn out, but eventually, for all the underdog supporters out there, here's Brazil taking it on the first map. Obviously, this is a marathon, not a sprint, but so far, Cloud9 have lost the inner lane.
This is I like that. A good bit of a good reference. He's been thinking of that all day.
That was a quick one off the cuff.
Okay, well done. Well, we're going to be seeing another one. Hopefully not a quick one. Hopefully another double overtime bash over on Mirage in just a few minutes. So be sure to stick by. We're going to see Cloud9's map pick up in just a sec.